Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Production. Today I, Bancroft, will be joined by Jake
What's going on, y'all?
as we go over the third round of our tournament. Now this was a very interesting round because this match technically decided if there who was going into the fourth round, because technically I was down paired in the
Yeah.
second round where I went
Yeah.
against a red deck, and you had been just flying through the rounds, just crushing people, and people were going, "What's going on?" So,
Well, it's been a long time since I've been at top table, so it was exciting going into a game 2-0 and having the potential to get there.
yeah. And I just realized, I remember you mentioned the comment, but I was not aware that it would fit so perfectly on the video. Both of our mats have championship, boom and boom.
Yeah.
So the all right, Jake. Tomorrow you all will see his profile. I wanted to hold off on his profile until you saw his deck in action. He likes to take decks I make and find ways to make them better.
Well, those are your words, not mine. I build them differently, is what I choose to say.
You built 21 right after me, and I felt like it ran better than mine.
Okay, I think that deck I did literally copy you and just changed like 10 cards that I saw weren't really that I didn't think were working well. But
Yeah.
this time I copied somebody else, a local of ours, Jason, suggested a couple cards to me to try out, and that evidence was backed up in a recent PPG, I think it was, in Texas. So my list is pretty similar to that.
Yeah, and right there it is. It's a very key card to this deck, and I didn't even think about it. You charged it,
Yeah,
and that should tell me right away you have another one.
a little bit of a giveaway.
Yeah.
We talk about psychology on the channel now and then, and one thing that's important is to watch your opponent's energy area. Occasionally, they'll try and run some kind of psychological game on you, but most of the time, it's pretty telling of what they have in their hand.
Yeah. So, typical Broly play. One energy, Vampa. You charge top 4. I think you find one, didn't you? 7, sorry, 7. Yeah, yeah. There's not the promo one, though.
No, unfortunately,
But still not a bad one.
no. Hitting anything off of Vampa feels great, and when you can get a Ba or a Broly, it feels even better. So here I'm debating on how I want to end my turn, what I want to discard off Vampa. Unfortunately, it's the Red Bean, a card I like, but I don't know how much I like in this list. And I end my turn by swapping into the 3.
Yeah. And obviously, you did not have a Paragus to play off top of that.
No.
So here, I go off normal slug stuff. Do I not do it first like I always do? Oh, no, I'm...
I think
yeah.
debating on charge. We spoke about this in an earlier video in the week. Sometimes turn 1 charge phase is the most difficult play you make all game.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what is the best play here. Do I charge yellow and use the... and play the 1-drop Lord Slug that draws a card, and then on my turn 2, use its effect to play a 3-drop? Do I go ahead and charge a green and play... almost said Whis. Wow. Wings. But I remember this now. I drew my starting hand. And this is very important to go over real quick. There was 2 green cards and 4 yellow cards. And I'm thinking, okay, it's Broly. Yeah, I could do this. I could do this. Completely forgetting and not even taking the time to read that charge card that you have there. I'm like, yeah, I could do this. Well, this is before you would head down the field. And the thought process was I could get the 1-drop slug on the board, go straight into on turn 2 my a 3-drop, and then it would be the slug, Lord Slug, and stop you from drawing cards to your hand. That was the mindset. And then,
Yeah.
then I just drew more and more yellow, which has never happened yet. This deck has probably 15 yellow cards, maybe 16. And I probably drew half of them in the first like 2 turns.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's the danger of multicolored decks, is there's always that potential for clunkiness, even in the most refined of lists.
Yep.
At least in a matchup against a monocolored list.
Why is that face up? Am I confused about something? Oh, assimilate. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking about how I thought I was going with a great hand, a great game this time, and just kept on drawing yellows. And so I chose not to swing at you because I'm like, okay, cool. If I get him not to awaken, I have an extra turn to go off of.
Yeah.
But both Vampa, the leader, and what's the other card?
1-drop Tournament Pack Broly
will
let you remove your own life.
So you play the Unison, you +1 to it, and you kill my entire plan. And I'm like, hang on, did I forget about that?
Yeah, a lot of people forget about the +1 because it doesn't come up often. Usually it's used to clear the 1-drop crits or 1-drop double strikers that people play. But here it came up huge against that 1-drop yellow slug.
No, it shut me down. I'm not afraid to say that right now. We're about 6 minutes into the duel, and that's roughly a third of my time. It's not looking good for me. I'm in a situation where I don't even know if I can recover anymore.
Yeah, it's
because I think a lot of breaks down to it was going second.
Yeah, I went first. I think every game I played at this event, I just won the die roll, and that helped my results a lot. I think being able to go into turns energy up on your opponent, even if you have to wait an extra turn to play your 6-drop Broly, is huge when you're playing the swap Broly deck.
I think you realize in a second giving them Paragus, right?
Yeah, I think we resolve it after I make sure all my stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I'm forgetting something. Yeah, Paragus.
Yeah. Also, why did your mark go to 3 all of a sudden? I can't remember why.
Because I forgot to resolve Paragus, and I +1 with no targets.
Gotcha.
So, so in between, the way that should have happened is Paragus effect resolves, I put the 1-drop to my hand, then I +1 with no targets, then I continue my turn. But since I had a brain fart there, that kind of got interrupted. So here I have grabbed the 1-drop Broly. It's really important to see in this list. At first, when I was playing this deck, I didn't think it was that important of a card, but it really comes up huge. It enables so much. Crit a life, go play a Ba, and with Ba, you get to grab another Broly swap piece, and here I elect to grab another 4-drop. And that's because on the Awakened side, I can replace a Broly that gets removed with this 4-drop by discarding a card from my hand. And the 4 is the highest you can go up on the chain using that effect.
Oh, also, it was the auto Piccolo. That's why you went up another one.
Oh, because you took a life to your hand.
Oh, you've already did the +1. But yeah, okay. So not only getting the Unison and shutting me down there, getting the 1-drop promo was key as well.
Yeah. That allowed a lot to happen.
Yeah. Well, you get that in your hand, though.
1. Yeah. Here I pay 1 and swap, and that'll add another marker, and I will swap again back into the 3, which just reloads that TP Broly back to my hand.
Yeah. Now you're swinging crits at me. And thinking of my assimilate target in that moment, when I went for the 2-drop and it wasn't the super combo, you're like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I think I got some pretty cool stuff coming up. And you just shut everything down. I'm like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? I'm so scared.
So here I had the option to either stop swinging and hope you activated a leader effect on your turn and get another free marker on my Unison. But with the blocker on table and the cards I have in my hand, I'm pretty confident I can keep the markers it has on it during your turn.
Yeah.
So I just continue my assault.
Yeah. So I awaken, I combo out of it. I think I comboed off one the 3-drop Lord Slugs because I was like, at this point, I can't get it to work anymore. I need to focus on other things.
And here I thought I was supposed to get another marker, but then I remembered, wait, I already did all the swaps. It's Kale that gets an extra marker for the early swap, so I put it back.
So I tried to green, and it just sucks at this point. I think I play Wings.
Yeah, going second and having to play the Wings on two really slows your game plan down. And if you were going to mount an assault or try and clear my board, Wings already being on your board would help a lot. Just sucks you didn't see him turn 1.
Yeah.
And he can't get minus by the Piccolo Jr.
It wasn't the idea of turn 1. I just... The best option was to play the 1-drop, go into the 3-drop, swing. You stop taking cards to hand from deck. And then turn 2 would have been... Turn 2 would have been played... would have been playing the 3-drop Lord Slug yellow and playing my Unison. But that all changed.
We'll have to see how you continue your turn here.
I'm debating about using the green energy or swing of lead right now. I know I need to get those markers down though.
Yeah, and establishing your own Unison here doesn't hurt either, considering all the counterplays green gets access to.
So you block
so
the
block
first
with
one.
Ball.
Yeah. Great target to block with.
Yep. He just does so much for you. And here I play Violent Rays and elect not to discard, because there's no way you can access more energy this turn.
Yeah.
And if you Overwhelm to trade for my Piccolo, I'm okay with that.
Unfortunately, I don't run Overwhelms in this deck.
Oh, well.
Probably
Good
should.
thing I didn't discard. Yeah, I should probably have discarded then, huh?
So you're on turn 3, and yeah.
So I take some time to think about how I'm gonna continue my turn. If I don't sequence this right, I don't think my opponent dies, and I think on the crackback I just do. Because while I have a lot on board and a lot of options, I really don't have that many cards in my hand. So pay 1 to swap, add a marker, and ask you to warp a card.
Yep.
You warp the Wings yet again.
Not sure what's happening here.
Just debating on how I want to continue my turn. I don't think one of these 4-drops should be in active mode, all things considered, but I'm pretty sure, I swap before I swing, so it doesn't change too much.
Alright, so you bring the 5-drop out, which adds markers. I get rid of a card. But if correct, I go ahead and use the counterplay here.
Yeah, I was hoping to keep this 5-drop and really apply some pressure, but it's kind of a pipe dream with all the options green has.
Yeah. Yeah, here it comes. This is one of those videos where I did not have to increase the time on.
Yeah, this game went pretty quick.
Oh, thanks, Jake.
Well, it was a short game. I don't know.
So you go ahead
pitch
and...
one.
Yeah. Doing the... wait, do you not?
I am, but I'm debating on which Broly I want to replace.
That's right. You mentioned playing the 1-drop again.
Yeah.
What you do, yeah.
Yeah. This lets me crit a life, which isn't super important, but I get to go play another Ba. And this will allow me to replace the 5-drop that you just destroyed.
Which, yeah, that sets you up for Yes, set you back up where you need to be. Yeah.
Yeah, the tournament pack Broly is just an absolute Swiss Army knife, along with Ba, and the fact that it goes and gets Ba from the deck really just brings both cards up to a really high power level. So here I have -6 off of the Piccolo now that he's got all his markers, and I grab Fearless Pan, and what is my other battle
Piccolo
card?
Jr.
Piccolo.
Yeah.
Piccolo Jr. The correct play here would have been to swap the 1-drop back out for a 3, which is obviously in my hand. Or I might have discarded it, actually. But
You did discard it.
yeah, if I have another 3 in hand, that would have been more correct. But I feel like I have enough swings and power on the board here that I'm pretty confident I can end the game.
Dorm potential. Get rid of your Ba.
Blows him up. No
Yep.
free blocker for me. Well, you don't want to kill Paragus and the 1-drop Broly?
No, it's okay.
You get 2 for 1 on that.
I need to somehow get a hit in, is the problem.
So here, I Raditz, super combo. I'm just
Sorry.
thinking about how I want to do things.
Yeah.
Combo this Paragus, combo this Pan. Or no, I don't combo Pan. It's ridiculous.
I think you get up to... and I forget that Pan has blocker.
Yeah.
But I couldn't target her anyways. So you're
Yeah,
at
she's-
40, I think, because the 5k boost from Pan puts you at 45?
This would be 35 crit at this point.
Yeah, 35 crit. Yeah. So there I'm at 30. No, I'm at 35, yeah. And do I combo another card from hand? There you go. No, I went to 45. I think you're at 40. Does he get a 5k boost when he swings?
He does. He's 20 on swing.
So plus the 5k boost from Pan. Yeah, you're a 40.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and swap into your 5-drop, make him get rid of another card, which would have loved to have a blocker in the field.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I was afraid it was something a bit more substantial. Like another crit free, or like another counterplay Frieza.
Symbol 8. Yep. So you play a battle card off me getting crit and you pass turn, and I think you're the only person who survived that so far.
Yeah. I'd played, this was round 3, I had played 2 other games and was able to pull the, what's it called? Combo the Broly off. I was able to pull the Fearless Pan out in both of those games as well, but neither of those players survived the turn.
Yeah.
Green gives me a little bit more trouble.
So I didn't charge because I only drew 1 card, and it happened to be a green card. I'm like, oh, let me hang on to it. I need this combo power later on the road. And then I took from when I drew off leader, I drew into the Agent Destruction. And I'm like, oh. Well, I could have...
Yeah, that Piccolo goes to warp at end of turn, so we moved it. We forgot about that.
Oh, it was Cell. That's why I drew on the start turn. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, useless Cell.
A very rare game where you don't want to see Cell Xeno in your Lord Slug build.
Pretty much. And I combo it just to try to do a 15k beater to you. But you
Got
were
me down to 2.
You weren't. You were fine. But I did make you have to charge a 4th card, though. Granted, not sure if you were going to or not, because I didn't charge. You couldn't get the 6-drop out unless you did that.
I didn't think about that. I was wondering why you considered that in that way.
So you swing up leader, you combo up, and I'm like, you insult me, sir.
Yeah, that's bad manners, guys. Don't offer like preemptive fist bumps and stuff, even if it's a friendly game with one of your friends. It's just not proper decorum at a public event like this.
Truth be told, I didn't have enough power to get out of it, but I was like, I have 2 cards in my hand. You have no idea what they are.
That's true. Although I was pretty confident that with 1 energy and well, I did know what they were.
3 cards.
Because they
Yeah,
were
I
in
know.
your warp. Wait.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I think Jimmy was like, you didn't call double strike. And
Yeah, which I announced it at the end of the combo.
he did, yeah. But yeah, that's a crazy Broly build.
Yeah, very explosive. Again, shout outs to Jason and unnamed player from Texas who won their event with Red Broly. I based my list off of the Texas list and took Jason's advice with Fearless Pan. You know, although that card was in the Texas list as well, it just two different people talking about it really sold me on it.
No, it's a phenomenal play. So, highly recommend it. And with that being said, that is today's video. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoy all the normal fun stuff. Jake, last words?
If you want to win, you have to practice. And if you're going to win, have good manners.
And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Like always, read your cards, know your plays. Fluff out.